Welcome to Real Tech Real Talk, a podcast from cexposure.tech. In today's hyper-connected world, cybersecurity is no longer just a technological concern. It's become a matter of national and regional security. Joining us today to explore pressing cybersecurity challenges facing India and the broader Asia-Pacific region, from talent shortage to the rise of ransomware, is a seasoned cybersecurity professional from India, Lieutenant Manoj Mujumdar. Welcome to the show, Lieutenant Manoj.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So before we dive into the main discussion points, maybe you could give us a brief introduction of yourself and the work that you've done in the cybersecurity field.
My name is Lieutenant Manoj Mujumdar. I am a Desh Ratna awardee of 2024 India. So starting from my journey towards cybersecurity, I have started my journey through Indian Navy as a lieutenant post. There I have worked for 4 years as a senior information security consultant. Then I moved towards Government of India as a cyber threat investigator. There I worked for 4.3 years. Then I have done a bit of my experience towards NASA. There I have worked for 10 months as a research and development specialist. Then I have started my journey towards a corporate, which is Indigo Aviations and Status Neo. So that's how my journey have been in these months. So total I have 7 years of experience and exploring cybersecurity till my expertise perform in black box, gray box, and white box testing for multiple web applications, mobile applications, APIs, networking, everything. So that's all about myself. I do have 67 plus professional certifications. I have multiple national awards. That's all about myself.
Thanks, Lieutenant Manoj. Just wanted to ask you, just out of curiosity, how did the transition, you were in the Navy and then you transitioned into something that's probably a little bit more corporate, maybe if there's a right word to use, a little bit more office setting. How was the transition like for you actually?
So, always we are keen to learn about more opportunities. So definitely, upgrade is one of the stage where everyone is looking for. Mm-hmm. So having all the expertise which are aligned to my previous organization, always I love to upgrade myself. Yeah. So that's how my transition have been so far from Indian Navy to Intelligence Bureau, then Intelligence Bureau to corporate. So, I would say, prompting in cybersecurity, you should always have an upgrading opportunity towards you. If any upgrading opportunity come towards you, you should always grab that. So that's what the, method I do always follow and I do always go for.
Interesting that you mentioned that you also held the role of a cyber threat investigator with the government of India. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about your role, and also the unique cybersecurity challenges you encountered during your tenure with the government?
So, while working with Government of India, I would say there were multiple challenges that we, generally not found in corporate life. But, the basic concept, I would say, awareness was one of the key factor where, we were getting multiple cases, multiple user stories and, multiple things. So thank you for bringing that up as a part of my role. So I had an opportunity to work closely with Government of India and the agencies of critical cybersecurity projects. So my primary focus has been on securing national level digital infrastructure, particularly, in the sector like finance and public services. So in my capacity of cyber investigator, I have contributed to identifying vulnerabilities in the application, APIs, network, and supported critical systems. So this may involve, conducting in-depth assessment, penetration testing, collaborating with the teams, mitigating the risk. So one of my significant responsibilities is to, ensure that the system remains resilient against the advanced threats like ransomware, phishing campaigns, or DOS. So, one of the most impactful moment for me was contributing to the security posture of, digital infrastructure and reinforcement. So, these encounters have not only shaped my skills, but also have given me a sense of purpose, knowing that, my work can contribute towards nation's cybersecurity. That's it.
It's a sense of pride you feel actually, at least
Yes,
it's the way
yes.
that you contribute to the nation. Yeah, I understood. I believe there are more than 900 million internet users in India, and I think this also kind of corresponds to the country's emergence as a global digital powerhouse. Now, with this, the challenge here would be to transform this massive digital population into a more cyber aware, or more cyber aware citizens, so that they can at least, at the very basic level, protect themselves against, increasingly sophisticated threats. Now that it's coming from all directions, especially with AI as well. You see, with AI, powered threats as well. So it'll be interesting to know from you how effectively cybersecurity awareness is being promoted among the general public and businesses in India. Or maybe if you can also talk about if you have seen any innovative approaches that can be adapted to, improve cybersecurity literacy and, of course, encourage responsible online behavior.
So sure, as you have mentioned about the AI, absolutely, I do agree with you. As you know, India is continuously its journey towards becoming a global digital powerhouse. The massive digital population we have present both at a tremendous opportunity and the significant challenges. So here the key lies in transforming this vast user base into informed and vigilant cyber citizens. So I would say the challenge in the cybersecurity threat are evolving and alphamping pace. I would say with AI powered attacks like deep webs, then sophisticated phishing campaigns, then automated malware poisoning, risk to both its individual and the organization both. So for general public, even basic cyber security practices like recognizing the phishing emails, creating the strong passwords, enabling MFA, which is multi-factor authentication, can go long way in protecting themselves. But achieving this level of awareness and behavior change across such a diverse and whispered population requires innovative approach.
Yeah.
So one example is gamified learning, when cybersecurity concepts are taught through innovative mobile games or quizzes that educate user on spotting threats in real life scenarios. Additionally, I would say localized content is critical. Creating awareness campaign in the regional language that resonates with the culture content of the India diverse communities. So I would like to say another innovative ideas in learning AI awareness tool in such a chatbots can guide a user in real time about the safe online practices or identify risky behaviors and provide immediate feedback. For example, social media challenges or any viral campaigns can also be identified effectively through this. So for businesses, especially SMEs, scalable or cost effective solutions are the keys. So government and large organization can collaborate to provide affordable security as a service models for small players, and they can ensure that they can access they have access tools and training to protect their operations. And I would say ultimately fostering a sense of shared responsibility is essential. Cybersecurity isn't just a technical issue, it's a social one. So with the right mix of education, innovation and collaboration, we can empower both individual and the business, and this will resist against the threat of today and tomorrow, definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned. I mean, you mentioned just now at the start of your answer about changing passwords and having stronger passwords. The funny thing is, this has been preached for 10 over years, but still some people don't. Some people are still very careless about it, or probably just don't care. It's like it's a case of, nah, I don't think it's going to happen to me. And then when it happens, then you are all over the place, not knowing what to do. You see.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is we have faced since many of the years these cases. So changing the password, it's a basic fundamental
Mm.
a key sense of for each and every user that you should not keep what we can say attemptive password or a guessable passwords or any of the password which was breached earlier, and you are just remodifying the passwords and you are keeping that.
Yeah.
So advice should be given, and let's say it's individual decision although.
Mm. Understood. Yeah, it's true. I think it's about time people take this very seriously. Right. The rapid growth of digital technology in every sector in India means that the demand for cybersecurity professionals continues to increase. And I think the talent gap still remains a problem. There was an article, I think, on CNBC TV 18, which quoted the World Economic Forum as reporting, I think there are nearly 40,000 unfulfilled cybersecurity positions in India as of May 2023. And that's actually quite a significant number. So from what you've seen so far, how is India addressing the skills gap in this field? Or maybe even like if there are any educational institutions and training programs that are set up that are adequately preparing the workforce for, evolving cybersecurity threats?
So as you have seen, India right now is going, a vast and a devastating state, and a nation, obviously. So your observation aligns with, a growing consequences on India's cybersecurity landscape. While the growth of digital technology in every sector has been driven a surge, in cybersecurity demand, a skill gap remains a critical challenge. That's true. So India's effort to address the cybersecurity skill gap, which we have observed, post 2023, many government initiatives has been taken. There is a Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology has launched a program such as Cyber Suraksha Bharat initiatives, which was launched. Then the second program was National Cyber Security Policies 2013, to create a workforce of around 5 lakhs cybersecurity professional. So, in education programs, there are several universities and institutes offer special cybersecurity courses right now in India. For example, IITs, IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, and NITs have introduced, a dedicated cybersecurity program. Triple IT Hyderabad, then Triple IT Delhi has an advanced course. Then coming towards public sector contributions, companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro has invested heavily in their internal, cybersecurity training programs. Initiatives like NASCOM, Future Skill Platform has initiative in this. So coming towards online and professional training platforms like Coursera, edX, Udemy has offered multiple, courses based on cybersecurity, incident response, and secure software development too. So, what I can observe the challenging areas for the improvement, practical training is missing. A lack of awareness is missing. Small organizations, especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities, often, underestimate the importance of cybersecurity. Talent retention, up to date, curriculum, those sort of things are missing. But, in coming times and in coming years, definitely this will fulfilled in India.
Now, would you say it has progressed now compared to, say, 2-3 years ago in terms of education and creating awareness, or not so much education creating awareness, but education to create more skilled cybersecurity professionals?
So I would say the progress is, you can say, by 40% it has increased. The progress in terms of education and building cybersecurity awareness in India has improved significantly, I would say. Over the last 3 years, while, there are still long way to go, the progress in last 3 years was, previously more specialized programs were not configured to all the, candidates who just wanted to learn cybersecurities. Previously, National Forensic Science University were not mentioning the cybersecurity courses in India. Then that's all. Online training and accessibility has been increased. Going awareness among the startups or MSME has been increased. So that everything has been increased. So let's see, 40% has been, increased. Let's hope for the best for more coming years. More new generations will be taking handover on the cybersecurity platform. Because as of now, we can see, the trends are going. So if, in particularly nation, if, for example, there is a trend for developer, everyone goes for development.
Yeah.
So now, it's time for cybersecurity. And I think, this will be a challenging domain and this will be a booming domain in coming few years.
This is a bit of a tricky situation because you see, while you are developing the skills, simultaneously we're also facing mounting pressure from sophisticated cyber threats. You see, I remember there was an analysis I came across on India Today that mentioned, I think, a report from the Data Security Council of India, DCSI, which I think the report highlighted kind of like an average of 761 cyber attacks per minute, with mainly the healthcare industry being the top target, and then followed by hospitality, banking, etc. So and so that means the volume of attack is actually quite high, and certain industries are targeted more frequently than others. Maybe you can tell us how India is combating the escalating threat of like ransomware and the likes, and what role the government and private sector is playing in trying to mitigate these attacks and minimizing their impact on the industry.
Yeah, that's true. Today's article was mentioning about, the situation is quite complex. India is, simultaneously ramping up the cybersecurity skills in development where, facing an increasing volume of sophisticated of cyber threats. So the rise in frequency of the attacks has been reported by DSCI with, 761 cyber attacks per minute. The key sectors like healthcare, banking, and hospitalities are the major targets. That's true. So I would, have few points with me how India is competing with these escalating cyber threats. So cybersecurity framework, the national, NCSS, 2020 aims to provide, a structural approach to the securing India crucial infrastructure. Then a certain there is one team, which is the India Computer Emergency Response Team. Certain plays a central role in tracking cyber incidents, issues advisories, and coordinating response to the cyber threats. Over the years, its focus that shifted from being reactive more proactive with regular alerts, training programs, and guidance for the industries. There is National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, for critical sectors like healthcare, energy, and finance. The government has implemented the NCIIPC, which works to safeguard, the critical national infrastructure from cyber threats. Then third is, private sector role in combating cyber threats. Proactive cyber defense is one of the key factor. Collaboration with government is the key factor. Cyber insurance, public-private partnership should be mentioned. Response to healthcare are some critical sectors, I would say. So banking and finance, regarding that, I would say Indian financial sector is heavily regulated and requires, a strengthened security measure for RBI mandates. So, and the financial services of cyber frameworks provides a detailed security guidelines for the banks to follow. So, by challenging all these things, there is a conclusion for the India. Definitely India is making a substantial stride for building a defense against the escalation cyber threats. Especially through the government policies, private sector engage and increase investment in technology. However, the country is still facing, a significant hurdles. Um, like outdated infrastructure in certain sectors and the evolving nature of cyber threats, so that will still remain the same. But yeah, previously India was more, in the attacking perspective, but now, yeah, it's building its defensive perspective too.
Well, the thing is that India is not the only country that's grappling with threats like ransomware. I mean, I think this challenge extends across Asia and other parts of the world.
Absolutely.
And it seems to me like this, the small and medium enterprises, SMEs or MSMEs as you call them in India, often find themselves, like operating as digital Davids against the cyber Goliaths, sophisticated cyber Goliaths, mainly due to limited resources and, perhaps cybersecurity expertise as well. So this has become a major issue for smaller organizations. So from your point of view, how can governments and larger organizations, extend support to SMEs in improving their cybersecurity posture and maybe help them minimize their risks?
So to answer this question, India has various agencies to support SMS. MSMEs and SMEs. So for example, there are few. Currently there are few programs which are being taken care by Government of India, which is Cyber Suraksha Kendra. Then National Cyber Security Awareness Month. Then there is financial assistance and subsidiaries for cyber security grants and subsidiaries. There is digital MSME schema where under this initiative government offers subsidiaries to micro, small and medium enterprise for adopting the technologies including cyber security solutions, ensuring they're better equipped to handle the online threats. there are few certifications and compliance support, which is NASCOM Cybersecurity Task Force. Then mandatory compliance for critical sectors, which can be RBI or SEBI. These are the key factors which are supported by government. Then the role of the private sector is, affordable cybersecurity solutions should be implemented. Then, cyber security as a service should be implemented. Collaboration of knowledge should be implemented. All these things, as a country, India has taken care of. The government and, the private sector are making strides in supports to SMEs in India to strengthen the cybersecurity posture. However, to remain, truly minimizing the risk, there must be continued focus on providing, affordable solutions and training and the awareness, while also addressing the skill gap through the collaboration of education accessible tools. This can be mitigated. So government have launched few schemes where, you will be getting subsidies on implementing the cyber security in your organization. So these are the small and the large initiatives which have been taken by the government to implement the cybersecurity, to protect the country. That's it.
And it's a huge country, the most populous country in the world. So it's not going to be that easy to across the board solve all the problems immediately. The reality is cyber criminals are definitely not going to keep exploiting the fragmented cybersecurity landscape. Not all countries are even in that sense. So, do you think the region could do, Asia in general, could do with a more coordinated and unified approach to cybersecurity? Maybe do you think that will serve as a deterrent, or do you think there'll be some challenges in establishing like a regional framework for cooperation when it comes to dealing with cyber threats?
So as you have mentioned, it's one of the largest populated country. So always there can be a risk. There are multiple key factors where country should be implemented. It's it's not the thing that you can implement everything. You will plan today and tomorrow it will be implemented. So absolutely, right is observing that cybersecurity is the fast evolving domain, and the country like India, where there is a massive digital transformation and emerging cyber threats, cannot afford to take a slow or reactive approach.
Yeah.
So speed and agility are the crucial in addressing the cyber risk. Um, Particularly as the threat landscape continues to evolve rapidly. When it comes to coordinating regional approach in Asia, it's a complex challenge. So but there has been progress. Let's break down the current stage of regional cyber security cooperation and the challenges in establishing a unified framework. So the first thing, the current stage of regional cyber security cooperation in Asia can be existing a regional initiatives, which can be one of the major agency, which is Association of Southeast Asia Nations. Then Asian Cybersecurity Corporation strategies has been implemented. Asia Pacific Economic Corporation has been launched. Then India South Asia Cybersecurity Corporation has been launched. There is a cyber diplomacy. There is a cross-border data sharing. Then there is diverse legal and regulatory environments. There is economic and disparity of resource gaps. So there are multiple things which has been taken care by as a whole nation or as a a complete world to secure. The way forward overcoming challenges are building trust and common standards. Second one can be leveraging public and private partnerships, cyber threat intelligence sharing, then regional cyber security trainings, cyber diplomacy and geographical cooperation. So you can say in India, to support the small level of organization, there are few agencies like certain. So for example, if you are holding an organization, if you are running an organization, certain is an agent. Certain is an agency which supports with your VAPT and everything, which leverages the gap on behalf of the organization. And fixation is one of the steps. For example, if any cyber threat, let's take an example. An attacker wants to steal a data. It's similar like stealing a house, right? It's similar like robbing a house. So for example, until and unless you don't have a input or a architecture diagram from where a robber can directly penetrate through the house. It's similar like in cyber technology. You have application architecture, you have application input. Until and unless you cannot secure them, you will be not secured at all. So you have to secure all the entry points, all the inputs. Then only you can defend your application or say
Mm.
website, everything. So that's what how it works.
There seems to be a lot of talk, and in fact, a lot of content online on state-sponsored cyber attacks. I mean, we've come across that a lot. You've been in the military before. You've been in the Navy. In your opinion, do you think, cyber threats or cyber attacks will potentially be in the future be part of any country's military strategy in terms of offensively and defensively, whether they want to defend against threats as well as they want to use cyber attacks as well to weaken their the people that they're going to battle with. So from your experience, do you think it's possible that it's going to become an essential military strategy in the future, or is it already an essential military strategy now?
So I would say, right now at the moment, if you have any, costliest thing in the world, that's a data. So, data is one of the key factor that everyone is looking for. So you have asking a very significant and a relevant question. And, yes, my answer will be yes. Cyber warfare has already become an essential part of military strategies in many of the countries, both in offensive and defensive capabilities. Based on my experience and knowledge, I believe that cyber threats are no longer just isolated incidents or niche concerns. They have been evolved into a core component of modern military strategies and are likely to play an even more prominent role in future. So there can be some key points to consider. For example, cyber warfare in military strategies, current and future. For example, cyber roles or cyber in military strategies. Offensive cyber operations can be conducted. Many countries already use cyber attacks as a part of their military strategies to disturb, disable, or weaken the infrastructure.
Yeah.
The attacks could be target everything from the communication systems, military networks, then critical infrastructure like a power grids or water supplies, to a financial system and social media networks. So in terms of defensive cyber operation in parallel, defending against cyber attacks has become a priority. Militaries around the world has developed a cyber defense units to protect their own systems and state sponsored and non-state actors. Countries like USA, China, Russia, and Israel have been well established, cyber defense capabilities, including firewalls, intrusion detection, then incident response team. Then they do have integration into national defense directories, which is cyber command, or integration with traditional military operations. So overall, it can be used. In short, cyber warfare is already a central part of military strategies for many countries, and it's important in only the set of increase in future. It is already used in offensively to disrupt, destroy, and manipulate enemy systems. So if you are interested in exploring this topic further, or you want to dive into how specific countries work, definitely we can have another session to continue, because
Yeah.
it's a different parallel vertical which is a vast in that only. So that's what.
Actually, yeah, Lieutenant Manoj, it sounds like a podcast episode of its own, just this
Absolutely.
alone. Yeah. All right, the insights you have provided are very invaluable, and it helps in the context for understanding the complexities of the cybersecurity landscape, not just in India, but in the region in general. And I think it's clear that we probably need some amount of innovation and continuous collaboration to address evolving threats among countries and governments. And I think that's something that we seriously have to consider. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ratan Manoj. Hope we could, meet again in another episode of the podcast. Like you said, maybe we could discuss this topic again for another 30 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Nice to have word with you. I mean, it was a precious time, and this is generally a awareness needs to be carried forward towards our awareness programs. and this need to be done. You have taken a good initiative to this. So lots of applause to you.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to cexpose.tech on YouTube and follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'll see you again in our next episode with more tech and more talk.